What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to my builds guide and banner review of the Thracia 776 banner featuring Rearmed Reinhardt, Lara, Tina and Safy. Let us begin with Rearmed Reinhardt, who's a blue mage cavalier this time around just like his original version, and he's a rearmed unit so you can easily fodder him and still have him in your barracks. He does have Arcane Thunder, which is going to be giving him -1 special cooldown, making Moonbow into a 1 cooldown special. And then at start of combat, if his HP is at or above 25%, then he's able to get +5 to all of these stats and also get special cooldown +1 per attack, both on his attacks and the enemy's attacks. And he's also able to ignore any kind of visible buffs of the enemies to their speed and resistance. So it does have dealt speed resistance built in. And finally, if he has got more speed than the foe, then he's able to get the full null follow-up effect. So this is a pretty nice arcane weapon, especially to go along with his preferred slotty skill in Thunder's Fist, and he does have the tier 4 version of speed resistance Fortress, which is definitely going to be helpful on the arena units that couldn't really use the Fortress skill before because of optimizing their score, like Legendary Veronica. So at the bare minimum, you're going to be able to get Canto 1 out of this skill, so it is going to be helping you when you expend all of your movement, and then you're also going to be able to debuff the foe for -4 speed and resistance debuff. And you also get 7 true damage per hit, and that does help you when you have the Brave effect in the slotty skill like Thunder's Fist. So this is going to be checking the HP of Reinhardt, and then it is going to be giving him +7 to all of his stats, and he also gets true damage based on 15% of his speed, and the true damage that he gets is not going to be adding to any kind of AoE special unlike the Fortress skill. And then in his player phase, when he initiates combat, he's able to get 50% damage reduction on foe's first attack, and if he has moved 2 or more spaces, then he's able to get the Brave effect. So this is the player phase Brave effect that he's going to be able to get if you move enough spaces with him, which can be possible, but also it sometimes can be troublesome, especially on the maps which have got trenches. So it is going to be enabling him to function as a much better offensive cavalier, but still this is not really all that insane compared to a lot of the unconditional Brave weapons that we have seen before. So overall, Reinhardt is going to be functioning as a blue mage cavalier who can be offensive with that 46 base attack and 45 base speed, and he's going to be able to get the Brave effect as well. So he's going to be standing out a bit more than any kind of other blue mage cavalier who's going to be inheriting Arcane Thunder from him. And I've made a full video going over the best users of it, which you can check out if you want to fodder him and if you're in a dilemma on who to give this weapon to. And if you're going to be building up Reinhardt on a budget, then you can simply give him attack speed solo or any kind of offensive Sacred Seal and run reposition on him. He's going to be able to set up the Pathfinder because of defense res smoke 3, and then he's going to be able to retreat with the Fortress skill, and whenever he's going to be able to get the Brave effect out of his weapon, he's going to be triggering Moonbow on his Brave attack even against the foes that might have any kind of guard skill. It is only not going to be going off against the foes that have the guard skill and also the defensive tempo effect, which is not a whole lot, but still that is something you can watch out for. And if you want to give him some premium skills, then Desperation 4 is going to be a really good slot B skill he can run because of having the Brave effect out of the slot A skill. So he's going to be able to quad with Desperation 4 and then also trigger Luna in those attacks, which is going to be doing a lot of damage. And then Fatal Smoke 4 can also be an option that he can run in the slot C if you just want to get past the miracle effects that are non-special. And if you want to invest even more into him, then Occultist Strike is going to be a pretty good slot B skill that he can run for getting that pre-combat damage. He's not able to run Flared Sparrow to stack up the pre-combat damage, but still, you can run this slot B skill, and then Inside Attack Speed could also be run in his slot C so that he can just stack up even more attack and speed. Tina is going to be the highlight of this banner as an infantry healer with her Thief Staff, which is going to be giving her the Dazzling Staff effect, and it also gives her -1 special cooldown, so Holy Pressure becomes a 2 cooldown special, and then at start of turn, she's going to be stealing any kind of status from the foe that has got the most amount of bonus status effects present on them, and then distribute it to herself and also allies in 2 spaces. And she's going to be able to neutralize the bonus status effects on that foe. So it's kind of like having Duo Thor, but on a healer, and she's not going to be working in Summoner Duels, and she's mainly going to be there as an Aether Raids defense unit, Even in Aether Raids offense you can use her, but I do think that because she punishes the visible status effect, she can be used alongside Embla, who already disables the save skills, and she already does incentivize you to have the visible status effects. And in that case, Tina can just come in and steal all of these status effects, which can be really hilarious and also can catch you off guard. But still, you can try and soak the thief effect in a way by having a soaker like maybe Brave Soren because of the assigned decoy status. So that is a way that you can prevent your main carry from being affected by Tina. And this is going to be a very, very unique effect that she's able to do for our Aether Raids defense team. And she's also able to inflict -4 debuff to all stats of the foes, centered in 3 rows and 3 columns on Tina in the combat. And in start of combat, if her HP is at or above 25%, then she's able to get +6 attack and speed, and also gets true damage based on the total number of bonus status effects that are active on her, multiplied by 5. So if she's got 4 visible status effects, then she's going to be able to get the max 20 true damage. And if you're going to be running her with any kind of Rattle Cat to your team, then this is going to be stacking up well so that she can nuke the enemy with that 43 base attack and also that 46 base speed, which does have a super boon. She also has pretty good fodder with attack speed ideal for, Holy Pressure, and also Wrathful Tempo, which is a new skill that infantry healers can use. So it is pretty much a Wrathful Staff skill along with the full tempo skill. So you're able to get Null Guard on your healers, which is really good. And infantry healers do have access to the finish skills, so it can definitely work out so that you can trigger your specials and also get the true damage and the healing. Infantry Pulse 4 is going to be there, and it is going to be making Holy Pressure into a 1 cooldown special, and she can also support her allies with this. So overall, Tina is going to be functioning as a very unique Aether Raids defense unit, which you'll have to watch out for, especially if you're trying to tank with a bunch of visible bonus status effects. And if you're going to be building her up on a budget, then you can simply give her the Squad Secret Seal, which can increase her HP, so that she's going to be able to be a lot more effective with Infantry Pulse 4. And if you're going to be using her in Aether Raids defense, then you can give her Canto Control, which can just shut down the hit and run shenanigans with a lot of the Canto units. And Attack Speed Unity is going to be the superior slotty skill, which is going to be helping you in case the enemy debuffs you, or just in case they have any kind of offensive debuffs. So this is going to be making her as a pretty annoying unit that people have to watch out for, and especially in the light season where Peony is going to be giving that debuff neutralization status, you can just run her with Duo Sanaki, who often gets countered by the debuff neutralization status on the tanks that are away from their allies for like 3 spaces. But Tina can just steal up those debuff neutralization status effects and the order status and everything and distribute it among her allies. So she can be used there for sure if you have her, and if you're going to be investing even more into her, then being an infantry healer, she can have access to attack speed finish 4, and Light's Restraint is a special that you can run, which is going to be a 1 cooldown special, and you can get the null follow-up effect out of infantry null follow-up 4 while also supporting her allies with the null follow-up status and also any kind of other status that she's going to be stealing up. So you can run this and she's going to be able to function as a pretty good offensive healer. Lara is the 4-star focus unit of this banner, and she's a Red Dagger Infantry Dancer with Clever Dagger Plus as the inedible dagger. So this is basically a non-seasonal version of Bunny's Egg Plus of Spring Ash, and this is going to be giving you +5 speed and attack and also 30% damage reduction on foe's first attack. So this is going to be a pretty nice weapon to have in the 3-star 4-star pool, and she can also provide you with Rock Slide Dance too at 5-star rarity. So if you're following off a tuned Peony, then this is going to be really helpful. And she doesn't really have the resistance to run something like a Temari Dagger along with the Ploy and Sabotage skill. She's mainly going to be functioning as the most available Thracia Dancer, who's going to be helpful for the limited battles and also for resonant battles. And if you're just going to be building her up on a budget, then you can run Attack Tactic and Speed Tactic and just give her Fury 3 and Wings of Mercy. So a standard Dancer build is going to be working out fine on her. And if you want to build off the Clever Dagger Plus, then you can stack up the damage reduction with Remote Sparrow, and Firestorm Dance 3 or any kind of tier 4 version of dance skill can be run. And you can also run Infantry Null Follow-up from the Divine Codes so that you can support your infantry allies with another status effect. And having the Null Follow-up status along with the Desperation status of Firestorm Dance is going to be really good on any kind of ally that she's going to be dancing up. And if you're going to be using her more for the combats, then you can give her Arcane Void. So this is going to be her best weapon pretty much. There's not a lot of supportive daggers out there, so she can get the skills from Attuned Peony with Rock Slide Dance 3, Attack Speed Unity, and also Attack Oath Echo, which does allow her to teleport. And then she's going to be able to use Lethality by making use of that Infantry Pulse 4 in her kit. And she's going to be having a 2 cooldown Lethality, which is pretty good. So with this build, she's able to support her allies pretty well and also function in the combat. And if you want to go all the way for the combat potential, then you can run the Finish 4 skill in this slot A and also run Speed Defense Tempo 4. And she can support the allies with her dance and also Infantry Null Follow-Up, which is also going to be giving her the Null Follow-Up status. So she can get the tempo effect and Null Follow-Up at the same time with this build, which is going to be enabling her to easily trigger lethalities with Arcane Void. Safy is another infantry healer present on this banner, and she's got Repair Staff, which has got the Wrathful Staff built in, and it also gives her -1 special cooldown. So Holy Panic becomes a 1 cooldown special, and then at start of turn, she's going to be able to neutralize any kind of penalty on herself and allies in 2 spaces, and also heal them up for 20 HP. So this is basically odd and even recovery built into one skill. So you're going to be able to cleanse any kind of negative status effects or debuffs on your allies, which is amazing for any kind of chain challenge or any kind of abyssal content. And competitively, this can definitely work out in Aether Raids defense, where you can have her in the Dark Season because there's no Freyr to be used in Dark Season, so she can provide you that recovery cleansing. But keep in mind that the cleansing that she can do is different than the Dream Deliverer skill of Freyr, because that is going to be checking for the at start of combat or at sort of phase debuffs, whereas Safy is going to be able to cleanse any kind of debuff or penalty on her allies at start of her turn. And she can also heal up 20 HP, and because of her recovery cleansing, she can easily be used on any kind of Dancer Trap team, because you're not going to be susceptible to Mila's isolation because she's going to be able to cleanse that. So she's going to be useful as a support unit, and she also provides the Drive Spectrum buff to your allies in 2 spaces in their combat. And at start of combat, if her HP is at or above 25%, then she herself is able to get +5 to all of her stats and also gets a guaranteed follow-up attack because she's not very fast with her base 31 speed, but she does have a lot of attack with that base 47 attack that also has the super boon. And she's going to be able to debuff the foes for many negative status effects like the panic status, the ploy status, and also the exposure status. So having attack speed ploy in her base kit is going to be making her a really good fodder unit, especially if you're building up a Validar. And this is going to be just doubling down for more support because she can stack up her resistance and also run a Sabotage skill. So overall, Safy is going to be a pretty nice infantry healer who can provide you with a recovery cleansing, and she does pack a punch with her Wrathful Staff weapon, which also is going to be giving her the guaranteed follow-up attack, and she does have really high base attack as well for a healer. And if you're going to be building her up, then you can simply give her Dazzling Staff from the Divine Codes, with Halloween Zane easily providing you that skill at 400 codes. And you can also run any kind of Drive Sacred Seal so that you can support her allies even more along with her weapon. And you can even double down for just debuffing the enemy even more with a Sabotage skill in her slot B. So you can inflict the enemy with the Sabotage status, which is another negative status effect. And you can even run Dazzling Shift on her if you're going to be using her in something like Aether Raids defense, where she does fit because of her cleansing. And then finally, she can also make use of any kind of Tempo 4 skill because she does have Wrathful Staff built in her weapon. So even though she's going to be getting counter-attacked, the damage reduction piercing can be worth it, especially at this kind of investment. And then you can easily trigger the special because of having the Tempo skill, so you can just take advantage of the Finish 4 skill in her slot A. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and a comment, helps tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more Fae videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as Reinhardt's Brave effect if he doesn't move 2 spaces. So with that, still see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.